Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Here we are doing our Classic Rock and Metal video review. This will be something we'll do every month from now on. There's just, the monthly haul was getting just too crazy, too much stuff. So things are now kind of divided up. We'll talk all things video related right now. Like I said, we'll do it monthly moving forward. I'm going to talk concert videos, commercially available stuff, bootleg concert videos. I'll show you what I got this month. I was able to watch everything, so I can tell you exactly how it was. And we'll move into some movie action. I have a couple of DVDs that I got this month. Streamed a lot of things too. A couple of music things, but mostly movies. But we'll get to that at the end. Give you a little coming soon as far as DVD Blu-rays that are going to be released in the next into March. But before we get to all that, you knew it was coming. If you guys can like and subscribe, that'd be killer. So, what about a drink? Pull something up. Vodka's in the house here, guys. So, today, a little pink grapefruit soda. Italian, by the way. It's so much better than it sounds, trust me. It might be too good. All right, like I said, this was actually one of the viewers' ideas. So, guys, keep the comments coming, man. What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? What should I watch? What should I buy? I've ordered some of the stuff you guys have told me to get, so I'm listening. This was Count Floyd's Chiller Horror. I'm not sure if that's his full, YouTube handle or not, but he recommended a whole episode on videos monthly, and that was a great idea, man. I'm already doing a bootleg review a month. There's viewer suggestions, which can be a bootleg too, which it was earlier this month. There's also a Sabbath episode every month. That can be it. So we already got like up to 3 bootleg reviews. Really, I'm a massive video collector, guys. I've been since the 80s. See this 4-inch thick binder? It's full of concert DVDs, documentaries. All right, what do we got here? Accept, Staying Alive, Aerosmith live in Houston, 77. Greg Allman in 88. All right, I had 3 of these full. I've whittled it down to about 1.5 of them. That still, I think, comes to 150 or something. And that's besides what's back. So I need a whole video, a whole monthly video on rock videos, concerts, that kind of stuff. So let's get started, man. So like I said, we're going to be covering all kinds of stuff. I am going to focus on one. Count Floyd's idea was to do one specific DVD review. I have too much going on to do that, but I will try to focus at least a few minutes on one every month. This month it'll be Neil Young's Harvest Time that comes in that 50th anniversary for Harvest. Kind of a documentary of the making of Harvest that was filmed all at the time, obviously. I never even heard of that. As big as a collector I am, never even heard of that. And to be honest, I'll have to admit, I read a bunch of reviews and people mostly didn't like it. So it was the last thing I got myself into with that box set. And it was, I thought, the best thing in there, honestly. So we'll talk about that for a little bit. All right, so let's just get started. These are the music concert videos that I picked up in the last month. Just give you a quick little look. I'm on a Clapton kick, guys. I was never really in this Clapton solo. Like hardly ever. I mean, I had a couple records in the, going back to the 80s. And that was really as far as I got into them. Then I picked up this gold, what do they call it? Master recording CD of Slow Hand this past summer, which just sounded incredible. Then I picked up the follow-up Backless a couple months ago, and that's really good. So this came pretty cheap, $4 or $5. Live in Montreux, 86. Pretty good, I remember HBO running this a lot back in the 80s. Watched it multiple times at that point. Haven't seen it since then, so not the best thing ever, but, kind of did its thing for me. Gave me some Clapton to watch. Phil Collins on drums, if you're interested in that. I don't like the way they do a couple of these songs, but for the most part, it's 16 songs, and most of them sound really good. Kind of cool. Bob Marley, this is a great show, 1979, Santa Barbara County Bowl. Like I said, 79 tour. So this is kind of cool because I have Live at the Rainbow, which I think is 75. I think I have a 76 show. This one kind of has 3 or 4, maybe even 4 or 5 songs that, weren't on that earlier era. Nice long show, 21 songs altogether. Really enjoyed the hell out of this the other night. Not the best color. Sounds pretty decent, but the color's kind of got like a sepia thing. You know, not the best. The quality's okay as far as sharpness, but the color's a little odd. And also a little of the fake crowd noise thing that gets a little bothersome to me. I don't really care about it before and after, you know, fade outs, but when it's injected into the middle of the song, just thrown in there randomly, a little annoying, but not too bad. The show, you know, is obviously great. So, Trouble, this one just came across my feed while I was shopping on Amazon. It was only $10, live in Stockholm, 2003. This is awesome. I only have the first 2 albums, so now I'm inspired to go out and get some more from them because everything on here sounds great, and I think there's only 3 or 4 songs from those early albums. Eric Wagner sounds amazing, that unique voice of his. This was a great pickup, $9.99 Amazon. How do you say no to that? Next up, I showed you a few whenever ago, back on the box set show we just did. I got this Heart Strange Euphoria. I've got into 2 of the 3 CDs. And of course, from the Strange Euphoria box set, the Second Ending. I always want to say the Second Coming. This was them live on KWSU TV in 1976. It's a great show. Forget everything you know about 80s Heart. You got Ann Wilson on flute for a couple of songs. It's a little progressive in spots, hard rocking in spots, a little folky in places too. Here's the lineup for the DVD. It's all, you know, 76, they only had 1 album out, so it's great set list. Just really cool stuff. Loving the hell out of that one. All right, Harvest Time by Neil Young. Neil Young from the 50th anniversary of Harvest box set. This is a steal for $37. 3 CDs. The new Harvest sounds good, obviously. Bonus tracks and stuff. You get the BBC in Concert 1971 DVD in that, John. The distortion issue that's on these discs is not too bad. If you normally play your, you know, volume at like 14, just turn it down to like 10. No, it would be great to, you know, blast it, of course, but you can't blast it or you will hear the distortion. But if you turn your TV down low enough, you'll hear the concert fine and eliminate the distortion. So they're working on a solution. That's the first DVD in that one. And here's the one I want to talk to you a little bit about. Harvest Time. It's getting, you know, some bad reviews for the most part because it's just long. I mean, guys, it's a documentary about the making of Harvest, all right? It's not a concert, you know, so I'm not sure why people are even upset in the least. You get a good amount of the songs that were on Harvest, but really not even all of it, maybe like 6 of the songs. I just love the hell out of this. Starts out, I mean, you're on Neil's ranch and they're jamming in the barn, they're rehearsing for the album. They start out with Alabama, you know, rocker. They do kind of focus on the rockers here. So there's, you know, it's not all acoustic like most of Harvest is. Alabama sounds great. You know, the one thing, man, that the sound on this thing is not the best. The picture's a little grainy. But when the music's playing, the music sounds awesome. You know, just like his Archives box set, just like Harvest and everything he's been putting out. The sound quality is off the charts. When the music's playing, the sound quality is great. You get to see it's Crosby and Stills in the studio doing the background vocals to Alabama, and it was so cool watching Crosby. He's like young, he's enthusiastic. Watching him come up with the background vocal like on the spot, it was great. Love that part. They do Words. That sounds awesome. Between the Lines of Age. Are You Ready for the Country? Was killer. Neil's like listening to the playback of the album from like 50 yards away from the barn down the hill. It's just kind of cool because you're laying in the grass with him, looking back up at the barn, and he's talking about how the sound echoes off the hills a certain way. You know, he has this spot of his. I just thought it was awesome. You know, A Man Needs a Maid. He's recording that with the London Symphony Orchestra. That was amazing. Like I'm as huge of a collector as I am. I never even heard that this thing existed. So I just had a great time watching this. It's 90 minutes or whatever. It could have been 3 hours long. I still would have loved it. All right. So, and I just happened to see this on a clip from Howard Stern where Neil's talking about, and I had heard this story a couple times before, but when he was finished with harvest, he went out on his lake outside of his house. He has speakers in his house and speakers in the barn, and he took Graham Nash out in the rowboat to listen to the final recording of Harvest. And they had stereo speakers, one set from the house and 100 yards up the hill from the barn, and the barn wasn't loud enough. He had to yell at people from the boat, turn up the barn. I just love hearing that story, man. These guys, man, God, everything was better in the 70s. So that's basically it. Oh, he did also mention too, this is some news for you, is for the next Archives 3. Neil's talking about a 13th CD that's going to be nothing but the earliest versions of a bunch of songs. In other words, he feels like things have gotten lost from adding layers and layers onto the songs, and it's going to be a CD of the earliest versions of stuff. So that should be really cool. I think he's calling it Fresh Tracks. All right, so that's it for stuff that I either got recently or just got in the last couple weeks and watched video-wise. Here's some stuff that I've had that I watched recently, but I got it maybe last summer or last fall. Journey, Budokan 83. This was like a bonus DVD-R. About an hour long, I think. Came with like a 2 CD version of the show that was on FM broadcast. So this is just a DVD from a TV special. And it is, it's okay. I really need to watch it again. What's a little bothersome is they switch around the songs. So you really kind of lose the flow of the show. So that's my complaint with that. So maybe now that I know that going in, I should watch it again, probably see what's up. Grand Funk Live 6989. I showed you this. I watched this whole thing. Really cool. A great show from LA, I think from 71 maybe. No, 74. Some other little clips, and then Mark Farner's band Solo. I think I might have already talked about this. Sorry about that if I did. Mark Farner's band Solo in 89 actually sounded pretty damn good. There's 3 songs from that. Ronnie James Dio. This was a bonus DVD-R. Complete clip, so it's every video he ever did going back to Sabbath. Nothing from Rainbow. It's 80 to 2009, and now it's on the floor. Pretty cool. I mean, I had a lot of the Sabbath stuff, and I had some of his solo stuff, but all that like mid to late 80s stuff, and up into the 90s. Never heard of that. Push 2002. Never heard of that song. So I only have his first 3 albums. So this is awesome. I really like this. These bonus DVD-Rs with some of those Japan websites, they're like an extra $4 or $5. I almost always get them. This was great. All right. Now I'm almost done watching this. It's in my DVD player right now. Blue Oyster Cult, Landover, 1976. Pretty popular in the trading circles to get this one. This is really nice and cleaned up. It's in that binder I already showed you from years ago from trade, and that's a good quality. This is great quality. And get 13 songs, 90 minutes, 85 minutes. Great Blue Oyster Cult show. Another $4 bonus. As much as I bitch about CDRs, the DVD-Rs never give me a problem, ever. Zeppelin, I think I already talked about this a month or 2 ago. This was a cheap silver press DVD. I think $10 I paid for this guy. And I like that it came in this case, like a legit full-size case. These are the 3 reunion things that they did between Live Aid, Atlantic Records 88 reunion thing, or celebration concert, and 95 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now that last show I think kind of sucks, but I wanted the first 2. But it's nice to have their only 3 things that they did in between, the band and the celebration day, all in one little DVD. So nice pickup. Like I said, $10 or $11 I think. And then the last thing I watched, when I did that Final Cut video recently, threw that DVD video EP on, that comes in this, I don't know if this is one of these South American things, Argentinian, whatever. Not really 100% sure. I mean, I bought it from the UK, and there was a bunch of people selling it. But I don't see this out there right now too often. So one of these CDs or discs are the DVD video EP, which the band has never released on DVD. So that's what makes this kind of cool. And this wasn't too expensive too. I think it was $13 and another $8 to ship it or something. The video EP is kind of cheesy, but it's still fun to watch once in a while. That's pretty much it as far as music stuff. Now I've been streaming a couple things. Believe it or not, I know I'm like the last one to watch it. I started watching it when it first came out and just kind of forgot about it. You know, when you have 1,000 channels, it's easy to do. But I've been watching The Beatles Get Back. I'm in episode 2. I love it. I think it's great. You know, I'm just a sucker for anything music documentary, music concert. Throw it my way, I'm in. You know, I freaking watched a Go-Go's documentary a couple months ago. And I started watching HBO as a documentary on Dionne Warwick. And with just as coincidental, you know, that Burt Bacharach just passed a few weeks ago. So kind of interested, you know, like I watch them all. So I'm watching that one too. Just got started. All right, on to some horror. Let's get to some real goodies. These are just a couple of older things that I just happened to get in the last few weeks. I think the guy selling the Bob Marley also had a lot of movies. I got the original Saw, director's cut, widescreen, bunch of extra DVD features. I don't know if it is director's cut. I just feel like maybe I just said that for the hell of it. Bunch of extra features to watch. I don't know if I'll watch them, but I haven't seen this movie since it came out. So I've kind of looked up for that for $2. I like how the disc like spins in there. It's kind of cool. Then this one I just took a chance on because it had pretty good reviews. It's called The Dead. Not Dawn of the Dead. Looks a lot like it with that orange background. It's called The Dead. Zombie movie, though, and it's a really good one, man. This is awesome. And there was a part 2 that wasn't nearly as good, but this one, I think, I want to say 2010 maybe. Great zombie flick. If you're into zombie movies, I'm sure you've probably already seen this. If not, check out The Dead, 2010. And last thing I picked up this month, I have like 5 things on order right now. But The Hand, classic Michael Caine, early 80s action. I want to say 1981. We loved it. Man, I was like 11 when this came out, and we saw it on HBO. Freaked us out, me and my buddy Rick. And you know what? It really holds up pretty damn good. The ending is the only thing that I think is kind of like dumbs it up. It's a shame they just didn't leave it without that ending. I think I might have read something where the studio wanted them to go put like a different ending in there or something that didn't leave you hanging as much, which kind of sucks because that's the only part of it that's a little cheesy. This movie holds up great. I'm really surprised how good. You know, I buy some of these old things I haven't seen in 40 years thinking probably going to be stupid, and that one actually holds up really well. So streaming, man, I've been on a roll streaming. I've watched a bunch of good movies. There's a decent sci-fi horror movie that one there, pretty good one called Significant Other. I forget what channel has it right now. Micah Monroe's the star in that. She's been in 2 or 3 other good horror movies. I watched Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson from 2013. That was really good. More sci-fi horror. I really liked that one. It Follows, 2014. I'm not sure. I remember hearing about that one. Never saw it. Yeah, you know, you pass the curse through sex or whatever. That sounds like a kind of a stupid... I think Micah Monroe's in that too. It does sound a little stupid, but the movie doesn't really focus on that. It's just sort of like any other horror movie. It's good. Smile from last year. That was really good. Pretty intense. You know, a lot of these movies here, not a lot of gore, you know, just more like terror and suspense. Midsummer from 2018. That was awesome. Really breath of fresh air with that one. I'm sure you've already seen it. Now, here's one I never heard of. I have a list from a website, best 200 horror movies of all time. And I'm working my way back from 200 down. And somewhere up in the 180s is this one called Eden Lake from 2008. It is brutal, you know, and I love brutal, you know, but it's not an all-out gore fest, but when it's there, it's cool. And also watched the newest Dune. I don't know if that's from last year too. That was really good. So all these movies that I watched, like I said, I'm on a roll. Good stuff. I'm also watching that series, The Last of Us. Pedro Pascal's the main actor in that. He's also the Mandalorian, which I never even realized he was the Mandalorian. So I've been watching all along. I knew that voice. So coming soon on DVD and Blu-ray, guys, if you're interested. Speaking of which, well, not on Blu-ray yet, but on Disney Channel, March 1st, The Mandalorian Season 3. Can't wait for that. Christmas Bloody Christmas, which was out this past Christmas, which I wasn't sure when I saw that coming in the theater that whether it was an old movie or something new. Definitely new, and it looks pretty cool. I really wished I would have seen it, so I think I'm going to at least try to stream it or what have you. The Walking Dead Season 11, No, it's not what it used to be, but I'm still watching it, at least for free on TV. It's coming out on Blu-ray DVD March 14th. Megan, March 21st. That looks kind of cool. I got to check that out. One called Lullaby that looks decent on March 21st also. And then finally, streaming. No, it's not horror. No, it's not music, but I love Succession on HBO. Season 4 is coming out. March 26th, kind of a black dramedy, I guess is how you would describe it. It's funny and it's just good. I love that show. Guys, that's going to do it for now, but I do have a bunch of stuff on order. Bootleg stuff, commercial stuff, older stuff. I'm talking DVDs now, Blu-rays. Next month's going to be great. If you got anything you think I should be watching, throw it my way. Just throw you a bunch of stuff. I'd liked it all, Just on a roll, like I said. All right, guys, that's going to do it for now. If you can like and subscribe, be awesome. For a limited time only, free to subscribe for the next 10 minutes, no matter when you're watching this. All right, that'll do it for now, guys. Catches, what's coming up next? I think it's I Was There. I'm going to go back in time, tell you what it was like to go to the Judas Priest and Great White Show, 1984. Talk to you later.